You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.
Good evening, everybody. If you're tuned in, then you're lucky. Well, this is your RJ Gugu, and happy to be here with our very own artist for today's live talk, and his name is KL PAMEI. Why don't you say hi to everyone?
Hello, everyone tuning in. Thanks for joining. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And this is my first time being a part of a radio, and also my first live interview. So I hope I don't mess it up.
Well, a little mess is always good. Well, listeners, this evening you would be hearing KL's a little bit about his journey, about him as a person, and also about his music and what took him to be where he is today. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, you like any of the conversations in between, you know where to DM us. We have the questions coming in, and we're happy to respond. I mean, not me, but Gail would be happy to respond. And we are glad to see a couple of notes coming back, and we look forward to your engagement. So this is a conversation where we felt, Hills FM has this theme called The Voice of Change. And definitely some of the questions today would focus on some of the things that you think is healthy and has helped you in your life, and especially choosing music as your career. It's also important to know, listeners, that with every artist, it's also about the journey of its challenges, the journey of finding ways to make your dream come true. And definitely it all comes from personal story sharing. And we're happy that KL had agreed to be with us this evening to share a little bit more than what we already know. So with that note, I just want to give a brief introduction from what KL has shared with us. So listeners, he is a singer, a songwriter, and a music producer from Nagaland. And at the age of 8, PAMEI had already explored the zeal to sing with his uncle, who taught him to play his first chords, and his grandfather, who taught him how to sing Naga folk songs. So we're going to hear a lot about that later on, so stay tuned. And later on, he got professionally trained in voice and piano by the finest musicians in Nagaland. So perhaps he can drop those names to us also, who has influenced you to become a professional. And that's where his passion was ignited for music and even got deeper. He released his first debut single, Spotlight, at the tender age of 17. His unique voice and catchy tunes caught the attention of many listeners from the state. And I think this has gone beyond the state now, Gail, because now you're globally, in terms of nationally, you are already known, because you recently had an interface, had the opportunity to be one among the 24 artists who got recognized and handpicked by A.R. Rahman for the Nexa Music Top 24 Season 2 from 554 entries from various across and abroad, and later to be mentored by A.R. Rahman and a host of eminent music personalities from the music industry. So that is not a joke. So definitely the community radio Hills FM is very, very honored to have your presence here.
Thank you.
And it is here on that note, listeners, we want you to also perhaps see the radio differently, because this is also a different medium to be made visible of people's talents, and get to know our own local artists who could be just a next door neighbor, or definitely, you just never know, a future is definitely intact with somebody who's talented. So I think this is how we learn to appreciate the culture of acknowledging and also supporting our own people. I would not go to all the gigs that you have done, because I'm going to leave that to you. To shoot it out, KL, what does it stand for? What's your full name? I have definitely a problem in pronouncing.
So KL stands for Kubanglong Pamay.
Okay.
So that's my full name. So initially, when I started my music career at the age of 17, I started releasing songs at the age of 17. So I was using KL PAMEI as my stage name. So for some few years, there's been a lot of people has been mispronouncing my name quite a lot of times. Even the show host, I would tell them that it's pronounced like this in advance, but they'll still mess it up. And they could, come up with all sort of funny names. So, and one thing that I don't like is, someone messing up my names. So that's when, I thought maybe KL PAMEI would sound good. It sounds a lot stylish as well, so maybe I'll just go with that.
I definitely would have messed it up, so I think I was playing the safe netting thing. So I said, why don't you say your full name?
You can try.
Okay, let me try. So tell me, how do I pronounce?
So I'll just write it down.
Okay.
Okay, you'll have a hard time reading my spellings.
Is
as
that
well.
B or R?
Yeah, it's B.
So it's okay. Let me try, but don't crucify me. Okay, it's it's pronounced as Kubanglung.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I passed. Okay. Oh, so KL is where?
Yeah,
Okay.
KL is where Kubang stands for K, because most of my friends call me Kubang.
Okay.
Lung, yeah, that's also L.
So it's one word.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the next chapter. What does it mean?
Okay.
Let's have a lesson of KL's true meaning of his name. Yeah.
So it's kind of complicating. I'm also not quite sure how to put it
Okay.
into a simple word. Kubanglung. Kubanglung. It stands for. It means Kubanglung. Just bringing people together and then staying united, or just say taking care of people who are under me. Or it's like a community, like bringing people together and just. So I think that's what it means.
Well, I think everybody is happy to know what it means, and name plays a very important role in our life. And definitely through your music, you've been bringing people together. So God bless you, KL,
Thank you.
on that.
Thank you.
And okay, I have to learn Kubanglung.
Kubanglung.
Yeah, it's not that hard,
Yeah,
dude.
it's
I mean,
simple.
guys, let's make an effort to know someone's name, and I think it also speaks about how much we care for that person. Yes, mispronunciation always happens. Well, trust me, my name has been cut into so many things. From Vitono, it has become Vitonu, Vitanu. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give up. But the best part is when people make an effort, even though when they have misspelled, it also builds friendship. It gives you an opportunity to get to know one another. So listeners, please make an effort to know someone's name, because if you really want that friendship and you really care for that person,
True.
you'll just memorize it.
Yeah.
So let me start no more with KL. I'm going to say Kubanglung.
Yeah.
So Kubanglung, so we know your name now, the the meaning. How about you tell us how you're feeling right now?
I'm feeling okay. Since my
Okay.
hands are not shaking.
Great.
So I'm doing good.
That shows that you're
Yeah.
settled now. Right. So the conversation is this. You said 17 years.
Yeah.
And offline, I was sharing it with you that in a very short while in your music career, you've really grown and you've become very much visible. How about you share a little bit about the background, how, of course, your uncle and then your
Yeah.
grandfather influenced you, but the rest, it was your decision, right? And we have also seen, and this is a fact in our Naga society, where music is never looked as a career. It's always an optional subject. Oh, you can take it as a hobby, but don't even think about it as a career, because they don't see the potential in becoming a musician, right? So how are you able to change that narrative? Was it struggling in your family, or was it very easy for you to flow on choosing music as your career?
So, as a child growing up, I have always been interested in music, and I've always wanted to do something related to music. I'm not sure if I've always wanted to be an artist, write song, but something was there. Something like maybe kiba do iktaro kuro for music na. So Growing up, my family has been very supportive. I don't know if they were, supportive enough to let me decide it and take it as a career. But there's like in every Naga society, where music is appreciated in family. So, yeah, they've been really supportive. And when I first, started off with my music career, like every Naga families. I mean, obviously, it's something very different from other careers, right? Most of the Naga families, they want you to have a government job or apply for civil services exams, whatever it is. But me, I was never interested in all these things, and also I didn't know anything about all these civil exams or whatever it is. I just knew that I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to follow my passion. So at first, my parents, I think, they were they were not against it. They really supported it, but then, like every parent, they were worried also as well. So I had to convince them, not just from my mouth, but also from from how I do and how I perform in this. And so now they have been really supportive. When I first started doing music, it was very early. I mean, it was at a very early age. I started releasing songs at 17, and I was still in my high school during that time. So I was very naive, I would say, and very ignorant about a lot of things. All I thought was, I will write songs, I'll sing, I'll get famous, I'll get rich, all these things.
Which is not wrong.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's right. So over the past few years, I mean, I won't deny that I still want to do that, but I've come to a realization that in this generation, no doubt that we are in a blessed generation right now, due to we have all the ability. I mean, we have access to many things, but at the same time, just singing or just having a good voice or being able to sing nicely is not enough for you to sustain in this industry. If you want to make a living out of it, then you have to embrace all other factors that comes into play. Not just singing, writing songs, performing, but there's also a business side of it, the networking, marketing, how you brand yourself, how you sell yourself out, which I think we Nagas really lack. Even when you visit stores, bazaars, you only see non-locals, because I think they're really good at this field. And we Nagas, I think we have been neglecting this side, especially us musicians, and even me as a young boy, doing music. So over the past few years, it was just me doing music for fun, and but now, I think it's equally important to also learn the business side of music as well, if you want to sustain yourself in the music industry. So the journey has been difficult and fun as well, as for all the independent artists here in Nagaland, not just in Nagaland but overall India. Because if we look back 10 years from now, being an independent artist is it's not possible to be able to sustain yourself as a music artist. It's not possible. But now, since we are here in this generation, I think we are quite fortunate enough, since we have access to all the things. We can just release songs, make songs at home, and then we don't need any we don't need any, I would say, any authority or higher power to do that for us. We can do that all by ourselves. So yeah, the journey has been fun.
How about, sorry, but before you end that sentence,
Yeah.
I want you to continue sharing a little bit about the ups and downs, because you did share when initially you began, you were very naive. So what is the difference, the before and the after? Because this would help people who are still struggling, or perhaps who's beginning. So your experience would be of great tool and guide. The naiveness, which is very pure, because it came with a lot of ignorance, but definitely it was very natural.
Yeah.
And now that you know, how can you do it differently? Because definitely we go through, I could have done things differently had I known,
Yeah.
right? So I want you to focus a little bit on that, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, no doubt that I was not that good when I first started music. So maybe that also must have been the reason why I was not growing in that area. And at the same time, I'm a very shy. I mean, I grew up as a very shy guy, an introvert, ambivert, if I may. And so I always thought that maybe if I could write if I just write good songs, and if I could just sing, and maybe that's enough for me to be successful in this area. Maybe that's enough for me to build my career in that field. But I was wrong in many ways, because what happens is, I was actually waiting for people to knock at my door and give me opportunities, and me not going ahead and looking for opportunities, telling people, hey, I sing a song, I can sing, I have few songs released, can you give me an opportunity to sing, So I was not doing that. I was not reaching out to people. I was instead waiting for people to reach me out, which I would say is like a pride, I would say, because I was not being, I thought
That's
maybe,
interesting.
I thought maybe ini iklak resep, I will just, it's possible na. Ini kurang ini parajawa. I don't need to go on and ask people to do it for me, I can do it by myself. So it's a young boy, I mean, that's natural. I mean, it's a young people, that's natural. We think that we can do it all by ourselves. But yeah. So I think what I should have done was, maybe I should have not neglected the networking and the marketing side of music. I should have talked with people when I had the opportunity, when I met people who I thought that were going to help me. I should have, just go on and, maybe ask for their advices, or maybe just build a network so that, there's this community where we share ideas and, where we get to know each other. So I think because, that's something very important. So
are you part of that community now?
I think I am, because I have, now I have a lot of friends. I mean, in fact, most of the artists here in Nagaland, I mean, we're all friends. We all know each other now. But back in those days, I was a friend
All
to
by
myself. Yeah.
Then how were you able to change that mindset of yours? I mean, of course, definitely the realization, but after the realization, the actions that were followed, did you choose a mentor? Because definitely our people lack mentorship, and most of us don't like mentorship. Because like you said, as young people, we have our ego and pride and ignorance box filled in our basket. So how did you choose mentorship?
So I think as human being, or as a musician, I think it's of course it didn't come by force, and it's not good to do things by force as well. So when I was into music, when I first started off in music, so when you're doing music, you need to have a lot of connections. You need to have a lot of relationship with people. So when I first started off, I didn't have that. So and I knew that since I'm doing music, I need to build connections. I need to meet people. So it happened gradually. Supposing if I go to a place or an occasion, I will just go and talk with people, because I was not like that when I was not doing music. So in a way, music kind of helped me to leave aside that introvert part of me, and to really go and talk with people. So it first started with just meeting people, saying hi, and I'm not waiting for them to say hi. I'm just going there, meeting them, talking about our interests, our passion, just building relationship. And so that's how it gradually started, and suddenly, now I'm in a
Now
ability
you're
to
a
talk.
pro, huh?
No.
In introducing yourself. You know how to sell yourself now.
Not
I mean,
really.
not from a negative point of view, because selling ourselves is definitely your own product, right? You are the product.
Yeah, that's true.
And you've also rightly said about how many of us still don't know how to do it, and pride and ego. And I think these are some of the drawbacks that we still continue to have, because we feel that our typical mentality, why should I go? Let people come to me, I think that time will come. where people will come to you. But initially, when you're beginning, definitely you need people to support and even recognize your talent. This question comes from this input of yours where you started, advertising yourself. Your songs, where do you draw inspiration from? I mean, the couple of songs that I've watched, and you can really act. So that's another question that I want to join with your lyrics, that you as a songwriter, and what inspires you, and what time of the day, how do you do it? How do you write your songs?
So I get inspiration from almost anything or everything that I see value in. It can be inspiration from my own personal life or personal encounters, experiences, and it can also be an inspiration from what I see in someone else's life, or when someone else share their stories or their struggles. So I draw inspiration from almost what's around me, what surrounds me, and imagination plays a very big role when I'm writing a song, and I think that's it for the inspiration part. Yeah. And what was the second question? Forgot.
The second question is, when you make these videos, you have to act, right? So how did you, being an introvert,
Right.
have that personality change into acting out in your own videos? That is definitely a lot of, you have to unload yourself with many layers, right? So how did you do it? I definitely can't see myself on a video. I don't know how to act, but wanted to get an inspiration from you. How do you do it? What are the things that you went through to make it happen?
When it comes to acting, even I'm not sure about that, because I never thought that I would be doing such things in my own videos, because most of the time it has been just me singing. So that though it just happens, lip sync. But when it comes to acting, I don't know. It's just with this this feeling of I have to do it, so that's why I do it. And if somebody finds it very appealing, then I'm blessed. I'm glad that they do. So it's just, I think as an artist, how do I put it? As every artist, okay, I'm kind of getting stoppages. Network all bias.
It happens. You can catch it up from where you left.
Yeah. So I would just cut it off from here. Wrong decision.
Okay, what comes to you? Okay, how do you prepare your mind before you do your part in the video? Because a lot of people say, okay, I take a deep breath, I go for my 5-10 minutes break, rehearse my line, and I come back. How do you do it? What's your process of getting into that scene where you have to act it out?
Like I said, I just do it with the need of doing it because it's my project. And I remember when I was shooting my first ever music video, and it was actually my uncle was directing it. So my uncle know me as a person. He knows that I don't talk. He knows that I'm introvert. I'm not expressive. So he was like again and again telling me, "Bal acting bro, like you have to act properly. You have to be expressive, And then when the camera came, and then when I started acting, he was quite surprised to see that side of me.
So it came out very naturally for you when the moment came.
Yeah. So likewise, I would say that I'm not very expressive when it comes to talking, but I'm very expressive when it comes to music and my art. So that's how I would like to put it out.
Happy to know. You have any questions? Okay, how about we answer the two questions that have arrived before we started our live talk. So the first question says, please tell us the story or meaning behind the song Gai Liang Mai.
Okay.
And this is from Mabemo.
Thank you for the question, Mabemo. So Gai Liang Mai, this song was written like 2-3 years back. And so I belong to Rongmai community, and I cannot speak Rongmai that well. I mean, I just know some few lines to get me in or outside the trouble. But when it comes to so I've always wanted to write a Rongmai song, but sadly I don't know how to write a Rongmai song. And so what I decided was, I told my dad, then help me, if you could kindly help me out in writing a Rongmai song. I just gave him some translations, and then he just gave me, he just came up with some cheesy lines. So the fact that this song is very cheesy if you translate it into English. Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't write this song for anyone, of course. It's just it was just a fun process with my dad, just trying to come up with a song, and it just happened. So the song Gaileng Mai means the best one. So it's for anyone who is trying to be the best version of themselves, or maybe if I like someone. So for me, she's the best one. So yeah, that's all.
Wow. So this song definitely is not you alone, but very much your dad being part of it,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Just that he's not visible into the scene, right? Well, glad to know about the song, which very soon Mabemo will be playing that song, one of his songs. I guess if it's part of the list, yes.
Yeah.
It's very much part of the list that we would be playing in today's live talk.
Is his
So-
name Mabemo?
Yeah, I mean, we've lined it up, for the following songs. So Mabemo, I hope the response from him has helped you to know about the song's background, which you wanted to know. So there's another question. Maybe we could just follow it up.
Yeah.
You mind reading what's the question?
Brother, what are you gonna do for us or say for us? I'm so much excited to see you. So this question was from Naro Jemmy Sensen. Yeah.
So maybe you can tell her that.
Fortunately, you cannot see me, so so sorry for that. But yeah, I will definitely be singing a song at the end. It's a new song, so yeah, just look forward to it, and hopefully some more interesting questions is coming along the way.
Yes. When you say new song, is it released yet?
No, it's not yet.
Oh, are you serious? Well, guess that's a surprise and a right question from Naro then. So listeners, do stay tuned to listen to the new song that our artist here has ready for us. And that's definitely a surprise for me too, because I wasn't aware about that. So maybe that works for all of us. So what else? What is it that we don't know about you? Tell us something that your family knows you, your best friends knows you, but we, the public, we don't know you. I mean, if you don't mind telling us, yeah.
Okay, first things first. I'm an ambivert, and I'm very lazy when it comes to, maintaining myself, as in my fashion sense, or just anything that has to do with style. I'm very lazy in that. As you can see, I'm just wearing a half pant and a t-shirt.
I thought that was your signature style.
Yeah, and also, what else? I'm a foodie. I love to eat, but I'm still thin. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So at least we know two things new about you from the many other things that people know of you. So thank you so much. So we know that you're a foodie. Any specific food that you're crazy about that you can dig into any time?
It's not that often, but I'm a big fan of chana mix.
Jana mix.
Yeah. So one story I'll just share for fun.
Okay.
So the scent of chana mix, na. It somehow it relates to this shit, na, the smell. What do you think?
All right. I'm not spoiling, or am I supposed to laugh? I have no clue. Definitely. It has a very peculiar
Yeah, it is. So one time I remember I was like craving for chana mix, and then I was just walking by the road with my friends, and then I was like, alright, I can smell the chana mix ka scent. And then we were looking for this chana mix ka store, and my friends, "Hoy, naido," and they were looking for it. And then right the next we saw the big truck, loading this shit from this bathroom. So from that day onwards, I think it took me like 2-3 months that I couldn't, really eat chana mix. But I'm good to be back again to the sport.
Well, I think that was a different narrative or
Yeah.
different picture of your chana mix.
That's right. But yeah, I just had it yesterday as well. So
You just had it yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I think the listeners would know what to give you next time, chana mix,
Yeah.
when they come. Okay, so there are a lot of questions coming in. Would you want to answer?
yeah.
Okay, why don't you read?
Are we getting more songs in the coming days? This is by Lilimi Jimomi. Well, I'm quite surprised that some people are like tweeting in like that. So yes, I'm actually working on my full-length album, and which will be done by this year, but I'm not sure if it will be out this year. But I will be releasing some songs from the album this year, like a single. So yeah, there's a lot of songs that's coming out. So yeah, look forward to it. The next question is, I'm your biggest fan from Assam. What inspires you to make music? And your story behind Zen My Song. What inspires you to make music? I think I've already shared this question, right? So, anything that inspires me, I just write it down. I am not very expressive as a person, but when it comes to art, that's how I, express myself, and then this is how my way of telling my story. And behind Zen Mai, the story behind Zen Mai, it's actually Zen Mai. It's actually a song that I would like to say is my debut single, which is not true, but when I first started doing music, it was 17, and I started releasing some songs. So all these songs I've deleted it from all the social medias because I thought that it's not very presentable, and I was still a baby back then. So when I listened to it, I cringe as hell. But Zen Mai happened to be the song which made people to recognize me. So it's a song that really means a lot to me. When I wrote this song, I came up with the chorus first. Right? So this means I love you in Rongmai. So I thought at first it might sound very cheesy. I love you in a chorus. But then if it's in Rongmai, it sounds good. So yeah. So this is how I wrote it. I didn't write it for anyone else because this song talks about two or any couples spending their life together, growing old together, and how they still feel the same love, and how the love keeps getting stronger even if they get grow old. So I'm still young, I'm not married, so yeah, this song is definitely not for anyone, but hopefully for anyone that sees themselves in this song. Yeah.
Great. So having to get these questions from our listeners definitely shows that they are very much tuned in and they're curious about. And I'm sure there are a lot of questions, and I wish we had a lot of time for that. But definitely, listeners, you are very much encouraged to DM us because these questions will be going to him and he will respond back, for which we're going to air it later. So how about we hit it with the song that you've just lined up? So may we go for Alive?
Alive, yeah.
Right? So a line about Alive before we play it for our listeners.
So there's been a lot of questions from many people about Alive. They think that it's a song that I wrote for my ex,
Oh.
or it's a breakup song that
Alright.
that I've experienced. But to be honest, Alive is it's a mixture of many feelings. So mixture of many stories. So it's a song about freedom from anything that is toxic in life. It can be toxic relationship or friendship, or any toxic thoughts, depression, stress, anxieties, anything that stops you from enjoying life to the fullest. So it's like a song of freedom. How you throw yourself into a world where all these things doesn't matter anymore. How you have freed yourself from all these things. How you enjoy life with your friends. How you enjoy life traveling. So it's about that, life.
Great. So with that note, let's have a listen to the song Alive.
Hello everyone, this is KL PAMEI. Now they're taking you guys out on my journey. Let's go. Glad you initiated and moved away. You have my permission to get lost in your ways. For everything that you've done and everything that you're on now. I've been like an idiot in the games that you played. I'm so tired of picking up the mess that you make. But it's all over now, and I'm moving along now. And that I want you to know, you got me dancing on the floor to my favorite song. I'm doing better on my own. Ever since you're gone, I'm singing. I feel so alive. You got me driving on the road with my friends alone, turning up the radio, and with our hands up we're singing. I feel so alive. At first sight I thought it would be hard to explain, with all that is filling up these songs in my head. And every piece that you broke are coming back to their own place now. And that I want you to know how you got me dancing on the floor to my favorite song. I'm doing better on my own. Ever since you're gone, I'm singing. I feel so alive. You got me driving on the road with my friends alone, turning up the radio, and with our hands up we're singing. I alive. Mayday, you've gone for a while, let you know it. Where to be found, haven't noticed anything going wrong now. And that I want you to know. Got me dancing on the floor to my favorite song. I'm doing better on my own. Ever since you're gone, I'm singing. I feel so alive. You got me driving on the road with my friends alone, turning up the radio, and with our hands up we're singing. I feel so alive.
Well, well, well. So alive, and definitely I can be assured that you enjoy it because I have enjoyed. So we're back to have another few conversations and more songs. So stay tuned. If you have more questions and any suggestions that you would like to share, you know where to find us. So as we get to have more questions coming in, maybe we can start off with this question that has come, and maybe you should take it.
So this question is by Aseno Vili Ayemi. The question is, are you hungry? So the question is, are you single or not?
Potential.
Wow. So Aseno Vili Ayemi is the influencer, if you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that she's joining in.
Joining in what?
I mean, tuning in this radio.
These days you gotta be clearer.
Right. So are you single or not? I am officially taken by my career in music. So yeah. That's
Oh,
how
you should have paused a little bit by saying, I am officially taken, and then logged in.
Yeah. But some people might take take the advantage of it and just cut it short, no? So yeah, these days you cannot tell how people are like, waiting for you to mess up.
So what's the direct answer that you're taken by?
Taken by my career
Okay.
in music. Yeah.
So, Asano, I hope that answers your question and many more others who may have had the same question. Because honestly speaking, that was the first question I asked him last night. Hey, there's somebody who is asking if, you're single or, you're taken, and is that a okay question? And he was like, oh, sure, you can answer. Definitely. This is something I think commonly a lot of people would like to know.
And philosophically speaking,
Okay.
we are all single.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
How many of you can you see me, right? So we are all singles in our own way.
Get that expression of yours. Okay. Asano, DM us more if you have any other questions apart from this, now that you know he's single. And for many people who were curious, so that's out from the back. Right. So, what else? So I was looking at the figure where people have... don't worry about the time. Okay, so we have all the time. I was also very curious about the 2,554 entries. How did that happen? I mean, what was it? Because a lot of us don't know, that a lot of about so many entries. So how did you know about this, and how did you feel in that process? Because to get the answer of being whether you're selected or not is definitely a very anxious process, right? And did you feel that it was the right time for you to apply for it?
So this next music, the next music that I was a part of was the second season. So the first season, I don't know if they'll remember Jonathan Yome and
Oh yes,
his,
Jonathan,
his
yes.
sister.
Yes.
Yeah, they were a part of it.
Yeah.
So it was back in 2019, and then lockdown happened, and after 2 years of gap, they initiated this. They started this season 2 again. So I saw a post on Instagram posted by TaFMA's official Instagram page, and then that's how I saw it. And then I thought maybe it's no harm to give it a try. I wasn't expecting anything though, but I just went there. I just applied. I just sent my link. Maybe if I get lucky, I'll be selected. That's what I thought. And then to my surprise, I received a call and an email saying that I got selected. So because to be honest, I'm someone who has never been who have never been got selected in anything when it comes to competition or just ticket lottery. I never won anything like that. So I think it would be fair to say that it was the first thing that I ever received. I won. So I was really surprised, and then slowly they started with top 100, top 50, and then top 24. So I was still there with them, and the top 24 got a chance to go and do a music video shoot, and in Mumbai. So that's where we met A.R. Rahman and all these music community people. So it was a very good experience, I would say. More than winning or being a part of the top 24, I was actually more excited to meet the artists from out there, talk about their experiences, and also not forgetting meeting A.R. Rahman and clicking a picture with him.
Definitely, yes, definitely.
Yeah, so that part, it was a very fun journey. In fact, 3 people, including me, got selected from Nagaland. So 3 of us, we went together. And I would also like this chance to thank TaFMA because, they have really helped 3 of us, with the expenses. Also really supported us in this journey. So, yeah.
Great. So I think this could be an encouragement to the other artists. Trying always works.
Yeah.
And we can know from that story where, for someone like you to be able to share with us that you've tried every time, and to be overwhelmed by this winning, something that of course you didn't expect, but you definitely gave a try. I think that has also helped you, right?
Yeah.
So having said that, I was also sharing with you that over the last few years, we have seen you growing. And now that we know a bit more about you, instance, from your own words of experience, what is it that you feel that you need more to work on? Definitely, all of us have improvement rooms in our lives as we grow, as we elevate ourselves, and definitely when we want to make a career out of something that we dream to. Where do you feel that you need to work more on?
As for me, I think for me there's a lot of things that I need to work on, and there's room for improvement for every areas that I'm in. Like I said, music has a lot of factors in, and with each factors I have a lot of things to be improved on. So I'm just trying to learn more from people who are more experienced, and trying not to make the same mistake that they've done, but instead learn from their mistake, and just writing good songs. I mean, better songs, building better connections, meeting more people, and obviously not forgetting being humble and being grounded. I mean, grounded, is that a word?
Yes, that's the right word. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm currently on, and also not forgetting the thing that I've challenged myself is to write every day, because I think this is how you exercise your craft, and this is how you get better. So it's something that I challenge myself, is to just write every day as much as I can, and also to not be lazy, because if I'm not writing, I'm being lazy. Yeah.
So do you think lazy is a good thing or not a good thing?
Of course, it's not a good thing at all for every field that you are in.
So has there been a day where you actually have not done anything and you've just laid, you've not touched anything?
Yeah, of course. So to say, there's been a lot of days where I have not done anything instead of I've done something, So yeah, I was supposed to say something, but I forgot.
You can come back to that later.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Right.
Right. So maybe that thing will come back once we play the second song, where you have explained about "I Love You," right?
Yeah.
So let's play that song. Hopefully, the person who has asked for it. I love you. So I think by now everybody knows in Rong Mai we say Zeng Mai, right?
Yes, Zeng Mai.
So
In Korean, it means sarange.
oh god,
Because my host is half Korean, right?
sure.
Just kidding.
Right? Yeah, that's the first thing I also said. Hey, how do you have a Korean name? And he said, oh, it's a long story. Let's cut short it. Right. So hit it on. We have the next song coming in, Ziang Mai, and we hope that you love it.
I'm broken with old age. I've seen that evolve change. Well, some are passing by, and some are out tonight. But with all that being said, there's someone who's always been there, who never left my side, leaving all the things behind. And she's standing right in front of me with 2 mugs of coffee. There is something about that place that keeps me going. Ay nang taziene, ay nang taziene, ay nang taziene, ay nang taziene. The day that you came in, you made this home a better place. And when I see you passing by each day, you make me feel alive. And now that we're old and gray, and we're not as quick as we used to be, still you leave me breathless, relentless. And though that's still enough, but then you're standing right in front of me. Either way you drive me crazy. There is something about that place that keeps me going. Ay nang taziene, 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 ay nang taziene.
have you been waiting for us? Definitely, I'm sure. So, you've listened to I Love You, and I know by now, since all of us, I think most of the young people are very familiar with, how to say I love you in different languages. And now we have included the Rongmai dialect, of how to say I love you. And I think that's the first thing everybody wants to learn when you want to learn a new language, right? I love you. And of course, there are a couple of other words where, of course, we are taught when you go to a country with all kinds of gibberish words, right? But I love you is definitely. So, would you mind sharing with us what does love mean to you? And which part of your emotion, has been your strength?
Wow,
Deep?
that's a deep question. What does love mean to me? The way how I look love at would be, there's different kind of love in this world, right? And not every love is, is a love that God looks at. And as for me, being a Christian and being a believer, for me love will be how God loved this world. So love something that you don't need any, you don't have any, there's no any conditions to love someone, or you don't find any reasons to even, when it comes to love, I really believe that love is a choice that you make. It's not
A tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough job. And when it's not just, the feelings that you get when you see someone, the goosebumps or the butterflies that you get. I think love really goes beyond that, into loving someone when you don't feel like loving. It's really a choice that you make. The choice that you make to love. Even if he does this to me, I'll love him. And that's what God did for us, right? So, yeah, I'm not a preacher.
You're doing good. So definitely you would be... Okay, so let me rephrase myself again from what you've just shared. How would you want to, in days to come, I mean the future, right? We just don't know what's tomorrow. But definitely you would have an idea of, I want a relationship to be like this. And I think this is a very important question. Why? Is because we have a different idea about relationships, as young people. The puppy love, and we also see a lot of young people getting married very soon. But also we are seeing a lot of young people also separating very soon. So I wanted to bring a little serious note as two young people. Definitely I'm much senior to you, but we all have our own experiences of love when it comes to relationship. And it is from our experiences that we also redirect ourselves in understanding what kind of a life would I want to share with someone. And I think it's about time that we talk about this.
Right.
Because our society doesn't teach us or talk about it. Sadly, even our church is very biblical, but we still don't go deep into relationship chapter, for which I feel, I think it's an onus on us as young people to discuss about it. Not that we're saying it's the right thing, but definitely sharing our imagination and our perspective towards how can we have a healthy relationship and even having breakups. There are funny stories like where people break up through a WhatsApp, or a messenger through their friends. I mean, I don't want to call that as a relationship. That's very childish. Even a lot of mature people do this, right?
Yeah.
And you can see a lot of reels on Instagrams and social medias, how people are giving ideas how to break up in a very toxic way, which you were also earlier sharing about toxic relationships, right? How do we break away from that? So as young people and from our experiences, how can we help one another? Do you think this question or this conversation is relevant?
Yeah, of course. I think there are a lot of people who are looking for true love, looking for this, if I may say, the right guy, the right person, or the right girl. And I think as long as you look for it, the harder it will get, for you to get one. I believe that, first you have to be the right person. And I think when you focus on yourself, being the right person, you're already being the right person for someone else. And I really believe that if you do that part on yourself, with you, then the right person will just come along. And, relationship is not about, finding the right person, but it's about, being the right person every day, that you choose to be the right one. That even if you have, so many things to get, angry about, you still choose to be silent. You still choose to shut your mouth. Even if you have so many reasons to not forgive her or forgive him, you still choose to forgive them. So it's all about, your choices are who you are now. So it's all about your choices. And also, I cannot say, I cannot talk on behalf of, those people who, break up on their WhatsApp or, for some silly reasons, because I don't know what's in their mind. But one thing for sure is that, there are people who are messed up in their own life, who don't love themselves, or maybe who don't have a good relationship with their parents or their sisters or their friends. So if you have that, and if you're trying to find love, then it will never happen. Because if you only have hatred or, the sense of unforgiveness or, unlovability inside of you, and if you don't love yourself, then you will never be able to love someone else, because, you cannot give something that you don't have, right? You have to love yourself first. You have to love the people around you first. That's how you can give love to them. So that's, I think, yeah.
Good one. So trust. There's another word that was coming to what I was going to say. We have trust deficit and looking for love at the wrong places. And you've just touched very, very intensely on family. And I think this is it's very important. Now I'm distracted with this question that's been handed over. So it says, wish him all the best from my side. So excited and proud of you, brother KL PAMEI, by Sensen, of the last question that was shared. And well, thank you so much, Sensen. I'll give, I'm sure he has something to respond to your wish. So maybe why don't you just respond to her?
Wishing all the best. Thank you very much, Sensen. I hope to see you. Okay. I'm just distracted by this last question. Show Afo Gugu.
That's me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll just take a selfie and then I'll post it on Instagram with her consent, of course.
Sure. Definitely. But so this is like, how radio also plays an important role in the fan base and also the artists, and definitely this also gives a relationship building, and I think this is something still very new. Of course, we see people around the world being connected with their fans, and how, people are crazy about BTS and Blackpink. They go crazy over. They're rolled over. I think I would have done that too when I see Def Leppard or Bon Jovi, we're the 90s kids. So we definitely go crazy for such bands. But with that kind of spirit really helps all of us, because so coming back after Sensen's message, Sensen, hey, we take note of your wishes, and thank you very much for tuning in. And I still hope that you're still listening to us. We're not done yet. We're still going on, because this conversation is turning out to be very interesting to have him. And he's obviously looking up to the clock, but that's not working. Okay. So trust and faithfulness. And looking for love at wrong places, and like you said, the family. And I think that's where a lot of young people, and I can resonate that, because if we've not received love from home, we definitely chooses the wrong partner for ourselves. This is a very vicious circle that or let's say most of the individuals, they get trapped in this situation where we land up having relationships with people where we think that is the love, whereas
Yeah.
the love means something else. And this comes with a lot of vacuum and insufficient supply of love from our home, which is our first love. And you've touched that. You know, a lot of people don't touch that, you know, because family is something, sometimes it's a very sensitive corner, and sometimes it's a loving space. And for those who have had that supply of love, definitely lands up with the right people, because they can differentiate, but many are not able to have that blessed love from home. And hence you will see many young people destroying their lives, getting into toxic relationships. And we're not talking about this.
Yeah.
And our society, our culture always says, oh, don't talk about your private stuff. But how are we helping each other as a community? And how can we build happy families without, you know, I mean, without talking about these things? And definitely as young people, we need to talk about
Yeah,
sex education. We've got a lot of young people who have got into not finishing school because their girlfriend got pregnant.
Right.
You got my point? They settled before they even decided to even think about settling down. They're compelled to live together because they have a baby on the way.
Yeah,
And this is happening in our Naga society. So these are some of the things that I feel that as young, responsible people, where we are in a public space, it becomes a duty
Yes.
as a citizen to be an example, to talk about it, so that we also don't land up in that situation, right? Because we always think, oh, it's never going to happen to me. But how do you know about life? You know, because there's so many layers that we don't know.
Right.
So my question would be, what is your social cause if you were asked, or where does your heart fall for? Because everybody literally have an attachment to a social cause that moves their heart. So if I were to ask that, and if people are interested, would you mind sharing?
Sure. So I would like to answer this question in a way where my passion is as an artist, right? As a musician, what I like to impact, or how would I like to give back to my society, to my community. Because of course works like charity or good works, helping people, that'll eventually happen, and but that though I will do it even if I'm not a musician. Even if I'm a musician, that will eventually happen when I grow up, or even if at this stage as well. But as a musician, as an artist, when I first started, doing music, like I mentioned, all I was thinking was about, just that part of to be famous, to be doing songs, to get rich, and I still have that. But after meeting a lot of people and being a part of a lot of communities. Especially there's a community I would like to mention, Prism India, which is initiated by Udita Liang and Uya Jungtina. And I'm really blessed to be a part of that community. And being a part of this community for some few years now, 4 years, and also spending time with my spiritual mentors, my spiritual father, Pastor Jack Pucho, and my aunt Annie. I think I've really grasped a lot of things from them that I think this world can never offer. So what I've learned is, we are not here to be served, but we are here to serve one another as people. And I, being an artist, my art represents who I am, and my art is like a lens for the people to look at the world, to view things. The world may be just black and white, sad, but if my glass has this, that my glass has the ability to show colors to people. So that's what it's going to do. So I believe our art, is very powerful. It inspires people either in a wrong way or bad way or a good way. So me as an artist, my calling, I would say, or my purpose would be to be a source of inspiration to people, to give to give hope love, to share a friendship. That that my song be an inspiration to people to love again, to love themselves, to love one another, to dream again, to not give up on life, and to motivate them to move ahead in life. So that's a thing. And also because if there's one way that people can remember me, even if I die, I think that would be through my songs. So I don't want people to remember me as a source of sadness when they listen to my songs, but the source of inspiration that inspires them, that motivates them, even if I'm gone. So yeah, that's my answer to that.
Thank you so much for doing this with us. And I think what you've just said, the legacy that you wish to leave behind, is definitely a call for. And it definitely inspires us when you're still here. This is a fact that all of us are going to die. We just don't know who's going to go first, right? And I think there's this movie that you got to watch, Tuesdays with Morris, and it talks about how do you celebrate life and death when you're still alive, and how do you learn to appreciate one another and not read those beautiful notes on the day of your funeral. Why can't we do that now?
Right.
And I hope this leaves everyone inspired as you have continued to listen to us so generously and also dedicating yourself. This has helped me, Kubang, if I may call you that way, to enable us to have this conversation so beautifully. And Kubang has done a wonderful job in playing this part with me and with the whole team here. To speak about your own personal story, it's never easy. But if it leaves people inspired, why not? So listeners, we are coming to the end of our conversation, very sadly. But I want to give this declaration. I thought I'll do this in the opening of the conversation. But I have been your greatest fan, The first song that I heard from the YouTube when I was just scrolling, and then your I Love You song came.
Okay.
And I had no clue what it meant.
I'm so glad you heard this song instead of the other songs that I did.
I don't think so. I think even if you kept it still now without removing, I think I would still love it because that was you, See, those are the things when we go back to our past and we see a refined version of ourselves and we go to the rawness of us, that was you. And that's something you can't erase it, perhaps from the YouTube. But the fact that was
Right.
you, right? And that's the beauty of the life's journey, that you did start from somewhere. And I think I want to encourage you to celebrate that, that out of that you came to become what you are, and you're definitely a diamond being brushed, polished to be shining for all of us, and definitely in glorifying God's creation with the talent that He has blessed you with. And how you have beautifully also said that we are here to serve, and that's how humanity is restored. And as an artist, you have a responsibility. And I hope that our listeners are able to reflect upon themselves that whatever talents that God has gifted us, we use it to glorify Him.
Right.
Because it's very easy for us to move our focus away into materialistic things and forget who gave us these talents, right? So on that note, listeners, our dear friend here has something to share with you, the surprise, and perhaps we can get ready as he tuned his guitar. That would lead us to listen to his new song, which has been a surprise for us too. And I would let him explain what the song is about. And I think this is just amazing how this has come about naturally and organically. So maybe you could share to our listeners what is it about, and as you strum your guitar, lead on.
Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This song is from my upcoming album. It's called To Hold. So I wrote this song last year, and some few background to this song. So this song came to me very naturally, and about this song talks about appreciating little things in life, to be grateful for what you have, because when we are like too focused in when we're in this world, there are so many things to be distracted by, and we can be distracted by so many things. And the hack that I found is to be always to be grateful for what you have, and that happiness is not about having what you love, but it's more about loving what you have. So what do you have right now? You have to hold it and give your time to it. This song is called To Hold. Caught in your dazzle, I'm lost in your gaze. Out from this emptiness to fullness of ease. Ways that you leave me, frozen in time. And words that you keep me with, like a beautiful song. And know that you're giving me a reason to see beauty in all on these little things that's left unseen. So here to sow my time with yours as we grow in all. And no, I won't let go. I will hold you close. I am yours to hold. Nang na de, nang na de, nang na de, alung kam, nang na de. Nang na de, nang na de, alung ka.
Wow, hold on. I mean, definitely, I think I'm going to hold on to that. And I'm sure our listeners have enjoyed the same. I got to share this with you. I could literally visualize, you going big. If you continue to have this attitude of humility. I was thinking to ask you, how do you see yourself maturing? But I don't need to ask that question because we've been speaking for an hour and maybe 15 minutes, and it definitely shows your growth and your understanding of life that you're on right now. I mean, nobody has seen the future yet, but I mean, just listening to you and being part of this conversation, I am certainly affirmed, that you're going to go big. And it makes me emotional.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
And And that this doesn't happen often, because we have so much to give. And I think to find your calling and the purpose is so empowering. And I am emotional because I could literally visualize what's that stadium. I mean, what's that? I don't know what it's called, but I think there's this biggest platform in the world that musicians wait to be there. I'm sorry, I'm not getting that name, but I could literally see you doing that. And this voice of yours, it's such a blessing. And you have the power to heal through your music. And we want to say from this community radio that this blessing of yours may it never go in vain. And I hope you remind yourself that why did you start in the first place? At any point of time that you want to give up. And I hope you don't go through that. But if you do, I'm telling you that God has a greater plans for you, more than you can imagine for yourself. And we, the community radio, is so fortunate to feel that emotion. And I'm literally in tears when something doesn't happen. But I felt God's presence in this whole conversation, the way your life has been woven. Your parents, your father being involved, you had your uncle, you had your grandfather who believed in you, but most importantly, you identifying how much you have to give. Your whole language of looking at being the right person for another person, and your mentors that you've had. I mean, definitely, it's not about being perfect or being a perfectionist, but definitely finding yourself in those brokenness, a purpose to wake up every single day and give your best. I think that's what God intends us to do. Give our best and not be afraid of failures. And when you fail, you have the right people to pick you up and tell you, hey, it's okay. Let's restart again. So thank you so much for doing this with us. And definitely my team especially knows how crazy I am for your music and for your song, and for that you are. So when I shared with them, hey, guess who I got it this time, and they're so excited with me. And I think that excitement as a team, it just keeps the relationship growing. So well, we still have two of your songs that will be played at the end of this conversation as we say goodbye, so that our listeners still have a taste of you. And what would you like to say to our listeners right now with this whole experience that you've had with us, but definitely something that you would want your listeners, your fans, to look forward to?
So first of all, thank you once again for having me. Adding on to the earlier question that I was answering, how can I improve myself, right, in this whole thing? So one of the reasons why I also said yes to this interview, to this FM talk thing, was because I am not very good in talking. I'm not very well versed in talking, and I don't have that much vocabulary when it comes to talking. So I knew that this is where I lack. So I said yes, also because to practice this thing of mine. So yeah, to the listeners, I would say, and or to all the musicians who are like artists, or anyone who is like who has dreams and they want to succeed in life, I would say embrace your weaknesses, and just you have to face your weaknesses, whatever it is, because that's where your strength lies, and that's how you know yourself better. That's how you grow more. And also, thank you once again for having me. To all the listeners, to all my family, I would say thank you very much. I've been doing music for, I think it's about like 7 to 8 years, 7 years now. When I think about it, it's like the time has really gone by so fast. And but still, you guys have been really supportive and not forgetting you guys have always believed in me, believed in my music. So I would say thank you very much for that, and I would really appreciate your support. I mean, keep supporting me. I have lots of music coming up, and also, it's good to see us grow together, like as me as an artist, and also as you as listeners. And we have bigger things in store for us. I'm improving on my part. I hope you guys do it as well. So yeah.
Sounds great. It's a mutual agreement. So with that note, listeners, thank you very much to staying with us to listen to the voice of change. 90.8 Hills FM is always honored and blessed to have people when they say yes to us, when we reach out to them, because we feel that the stories of people are just amazing, and all of us have a story to tell. So we hope that you have liked it, and if so, you know where to DM us. Please let us know how you have felt about a conversation, and I'm sure Kubang would be happy to know how did it go. Did he sound nervous? Was he really bad in his conversation? Or how did you find? I'm definitely sure it's going to be a lot of positive notes for us. On that note, these are the two songs that we're going to leave you behind. Gailing Mai and He. Yeah, am I saying it right?
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
You're my teacher right now. So it's He Rong Mai
Guai.
Guai.
Yeah.
So what does He Rong Mai Guai mean?
Hey Rong Mai means, hey, the people of Rong Mai. So it's just like a calling to all the Rong Mai people.
I guess this also goes out specially to our Rong Mai brothers and sisters from Kubang, and I think that's a beautiful dedication to your community, and they are definitely proud of you, and even for us as Zeliang Rongs, and we're very blessed as Nagas. Also, we're very blessed to have you doing so amazing and be an icon, for God's glory. So with that note, thank you very much, and we sign off with Shiro on the desk to play the two songs for us. A very good evening and good night, and we hope to see you soon again. Bye. Oh, that was not script.
Dung bum tini zin mai nang lun hawe nang lun hao lo i tai long nay lai dat bum tini nang ta yêu khang ning lo we nang zan chu lo i tai a diu gai a lu hay no lo i tai nang tai lo mo lo ro nang rui a lu loi bum sin ni a rui zin mai nang thọ gái liang mày đê du na bụi băng khao nang thọ bài liang mày đê là đi ye ai cũng mày xiên mày bụi ta hao đi ye nang sao cùng gái liang mày ta. Without you I lose humor. Just stay around this old real, and in case we go far I'll just stop and turn back around. Cause every time when I see your face makes me wanna live in your space, and I know you'll never figure out how much this ought to be, girl. For you inside of me there's no way I can let you go. Một lâu đưa nắng rồi ở đôi lối bao xin đi à rơi rẽ mai vui nắng thâu gái liang mày đê từ na vui băng khao nắng thâu bài liang mày đê là đi ye ai cũng mày xiên mày vui ta hao đi ye nắng sao cùng gái liang mày ta cần đi nằm ru khâu nắng ta để gái liang mày cần đi nang to gai leng mai de tu na pui bang khao nang to bai leng mai de la ni ye ai kum mai sim mai pui ta how ni ye nang sao kum gai leng mai ta kan di nang ru khao nang na de gai leng mai kan di nang ru khao nang na de gai leng mai. Hê rong mai gọi lao gần su gần thao này là mai tiếng mi quang tăng thế
ri ngam mai kwan cao ran rana mai quay nát ngai chăm đi cô
thoan nê nang ta hê ra quang anh yêu ta xoay hiểm lòng mai bu này là bầm khô cài mai rong mai phong tiếng sáng rạng ring sáng mai su điêu mi hai new ra xoay
hê rong mai quay càng đi gặp băng thủy khao an yêu ram gai ta thay can điều
ta bụi bụi toa quang bơ xin đi tình tia bom khó hê rong mai po
thoan nê nang ta hê ra quang anh yêu ta xoay hiểm lòng mai bu này là lòng khô ngày mai rong mai quang tiếng sáng rạng ring sáng mai su như mi hai new ra xoay nhiều lung lung suni ô duyên mai quay mi cùng cần điêu
thoan nê nang ta hê ra quang anh yêu ta xoay hiểm lòng mai bu
nang ta hê ra quang anh yêu ta xoay hiểm lòng mai bu này là lòng khô ngày mai rong mai quang tiếng sáng rạng ring sáng mai su như mi hai new ra xoay
You're listening to 90.8 Hills FM Radio.
This is 90.8 Hills FM radio station, using our voice to rate your choice. Stay tuned.